So you want to become a top 1% man? If your answer to that question is a clear yes, grab a piece of paper and a pen, because this video is the step-by-step guide that will show you exactly how you too can join the ranks of the top 1% and live the sort of life you've always dreamed of. Look, life for the top 1% of men, it's better than it has ever been. While for the bottom 99%, it's only getting worse and worse. Everything you want in life, money, status, recognition, love, freedom, luxury, you can have all of these things. But for that to happen, you're going to need to be willing to do what 99% of people refuse to do. Because you see, weak efforts equals weak results. And that is exactly why just a couple years ago, I hit a really low point in my life. I was depressed, broke, anxious, so naturally the amount of work that I put in every single day to reach my goals, let's be honest, it wasn't that high. But then one day, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I swore to myself, I made a commitment, I would do everything in my power to get out of the hell I was in, no matter how long it was going to take, and no matter how many things I'd need to sacrifice in the process. I wasn't going to stop until I got what I wanted. I used to feel bitter and resentful at life for all of the things I had to go through. But then I sat down to think, and I realized that no one was coming to save me. I had to save myself. Now if you're curious to know how it turned out for me, I am now running a profitable online business in my early 20s, and this is the kind of life I've been able to build for myself. A life of true freedom, of true abundance. The first thing that allowed me to go from rock bottom to joining the top 1% of all men, it was to start taking my health and fitness seriously. Experts estimate that in 2020, 30% of the global population was overweight or obese, and that number is predicted to reach 51% by the time we get to 2050. This literally means that 1 out of 2 people that you'll meet in 2050 will be either overweight or obese. And if we just take a look at the United States, over 69% of all adults are either overweight or obese. That's almost double the global average. Now the funny thing is that in the last recent years, we've been able to see a growing paradox. I've personally studied this phenomenon very closely. Going to the gym, exercising, eating healthier is becoming less and less stigmatized because more and more people all over the world are starting to go into exercise, to take care of their health, to put it as a priority. I mean, the fitness industry is worth $87 billion, and year after year, that number keeps rising. But at the same time, we literally have an obesity epidemic, and year after year, it keeps getting worse. All of the statistics point to it. In some parts of the world, we even have food deserts. What this means is that a lot of people in the world don't even have access to nearby stores with good, highly nutritious, healthy food. All they can find within miles is literally cheap grocery stores selling junk food, candies, soft drinks. You won't find a single carrot or a single pound of meat in there. And that is less expensive than nutritious food because you're essentially buying air. It's completely devoid of any nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. And that's why if you eat a chocolate bar, a couple hours after, you're still gonna be hungry, because when your body is signaling to you that it's hungry, it's asking you to give it nutrients. But a lot of people, they just go and grab a Snickers. A couple hours after, they're still hungry because they didn't give any nutrients to their bodies. And that is exactly the same reason why you can go eat at McDonald's, eat your entire caloric daily budget, yet a few hours later, you're gonna be hungry because you essentially ate carbohydrates, sugars, and air. But I mean, let's be honest, in the Western world, for some reason, it's considered completely fine, totally acceptable to eat almost 200 grams of sugar for breakfast. Like it's the first meal of the day. Your body isn't even fully awake, yet you bombard it with this gigantic dose of sugar, and so it spikes up your insulin levels like crazy. And then no wonder why, around 10, 11 a.m., you've got this craving for something sweet, you start to feel hungry again. What do most parents feed their kids for breakfast? Cereals, which are again full of sugar, full of processed garbage and chemicals, yet for some reason everyone thinks it's fine. What else? Pastries, chocolate spread on bread, all sugars, all carbohydrates, all chemicals, zero vitamins, minerals, nutrients. To me, it is shocking. As soon as I was old enough to know better, I stopped eating all of that garbage. Now if you want to join the top 1% of all men, we need to speak about mental toughness and resiliency. You've got to understand that the top 1% is called the top 1% for a reason. Not everyone can climb to the top. But the question that you need to ask yourself is not can everyone do it, because the answer is obviously no. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such a thing as the top 1%. Instead, you need to ask yourself, am I willing to put the hard work, to make the sacrifices, and do everything it takes to join the top 1% of all men? That is the question that you need to ask yourself, and no one can answer it for you. In fact, your actions speak for yourself, because you might say, yeah, I want to do it, but then you do what? You go play video games, you eat chips, you do nothing, you watch porn. You're not gonna join the top 1% by doing those actions. And sure, I'll be honest, some people, they were born in the top 1% already. They had wealthy parents who had the private jet, the mansions, all that. So now those kids, they enjoy a level of freedom, of abundance that they didn't have to earn through their own blood, sweat, and tears. But let me tell you one thing, being given something is nice, of course, but earning something, knowing that you paid it with your hard work, earning your money, earning your success, your accomplishments, it is the most gratifying thing in the world, because you can be extremely proud of yourself. You defied the odds. You know that no matter what happens, you can do anything. You trust yourself fully to overcome any obstacle that life is going to throw your way. So now the question that you may ask is, okay, how do I become more resilient and build up more mental toughness? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That is my goal with this channel after all, to be completely transparent with you at all times so that you understand the realities of building a profitable online business, because a lot of people are going to try to mislead you, to make you think it's the easiest thing in the world. In reality, it's gonna be hard. So if you want to improve your mental toughness, become more resilient, the truth is that you don't have 10,000 different ways of doing it. You need to go through hard things. There is no easy way out. The more pain you go through, the more difficult things that you face, the more challenges you overcome, the stronger you'll become, physically but also mentally. A great place to start to build resiliency and mental toughness is to get up early every single day and to start your day with exercising. Doing this has personally changed my life. It made me tougher, made me more confident. It taught me to push past the pain. And doing this is also significantly boosting my energy levels first thing in the morning, which naturally allows me to crush my to-do list every single day. And the positive momentum that you get from doing something difficult, challenging, first thing in the morning, it carries on throughout the rest of the day, because you build up the winner effect. The more you win, the easier it's going to be to keep winning, because now you believe in your ability to win, so you'll do what it takes. Believe it or not, but 90% of the time, it's really just mental, it's in your head. The hardest part is getting yourself to be confident enough to believe in yourself, because if you genuinely believe in yourself, you genuinely believe that you deserve a better life, you're not gonna quit. You'll do whatever it takes to get there, and at some point, after months, years of sacrifices, you'll get there. Now the next thing you need to start doing immediately, if you truly want to join the top 1% of all men, it is to get rid of all of your bad habits and destructive behaviors that keep you stuck at the bottom 99%. You might be thinking that the reason why you're not successful is because of all of the things that you're not doing. You might think there's this secret formula hidden from you, that there's something that you should be doing but you're not doing it. In reality, what trips most people up, what prevents most people from getting what they want, from living their dream life, it's actually the things that they're doing, and they think that those things are harmless, when in reality it couldn't be further from the truth. The things that you're doing every single day without realizing it, they get you further and further away from your goals. So the more you do them, the bigger the gap you create between you and your goals. And the worst part is that you're convinced you're doing the right thing. It's like the people who are convinced that if they save more money, they invest in a 401k, they'll get a great retirement and be able to enjoy life, finally. That is not the way to go about things if you want to make more money and live a truly fulfilling life. And that is exactly why you need to take some time to sit by yourself in a quiet room. Make sure you won't be distracted. Grab a piece of paper, a pen, and ask yourself this fundamental question. What are the destructive behaviors that are preventing me from getting to the next level, to reach my goals and to make my dreams come true? What do I need to give up, to stop doing, for my dreams to become a reality? If you can answer these questions and then apply a strategy to let go of the toxic, negative habits that keep you stuck at the bottom 99%, soon enough you will rise. Destructive habits typically include alcohol, drug abuse, nicotine, video games, because a lot of people actually use video games as a cope. Instead of improving themselves in the real world, they prefer to spend all of their time improving pixels on a screen, fake characters. Instead, turn your life into a video game. You'll thank me later. And then of course, all of the things like sugar, junk food, porn. Now we can't be talking about joining the top 1% of all men without speaking about improving your finances. Whether you want to accept it or not, the world that we live in is dominated by money, and it's been the case for centuries. The common rule is that the more money you have, the more freedom and the more abundance you'll be able to get. But the opposite is also true. The less money you have, the more you'll be forced to do gruesome things that no one else wants to do. You can't call yourself a top 1% man if your finances are not dialed in. Now naturally this begs the question, how much money would you need to be considered the top 1% worldwide? With social media, you might think this number would be something like $10 million. In reality, wages of the top 1% are closer to $870,000. That is per year. So if you make $1 million a year with your own business, you're not just in the top 1%, you're further above. Now if we break it down, $870,000 per year, it's $70,000 to $500,000 per month. Now honestly, good luck trying to find a job which is going to pay you that much. Some doctors study for 10, 50 years in university and they make $150k per year, $300k if you're in the United States. But do you realize that as we speak, some girls are making $150k per month? So what the doctor makes in a year, after studying for 15 years, after practicing on lots of patients, they make that kind of money every single month for showing pictures and videos of their bodies. Now it's unlikely that you can do the same unless you're a 10 out of 10 girl with essentially no ethics. But as we speak, there are some kids like 15-year-olds, maybe even 20-year-olds, and hell, I'm not that much older in reality. They make $150k per month, sometimes even a lot more than that, because they started an online business. It's not because they invested in a 401k. It's not because they studied hard in university, got a good job, and worked hard for decades. That is the old path. The path that your parents have been sold, that you yourself have been sold, yet it no longer works today. With the arrival of the internet, internet and of social media, the game has profoundly changed. The rules have evolved. Nowadays, in just a few years, less than 5 years in fact, people can become millionaires with just a laptop and a steady internet connection. We are living in crazy times. We have never seen an opportunity like that to build gigantic amounts of wealth, especially from such a young age, starting from literally almost nothing. So if you would like to figure out what is the best online business to start for you, I've recorded a free guide in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together we'll take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers as quickly as possible. It's the first link in the description below. Now let's talk about status, about building your ideal lifestyle. I'm just speaking for myself, but I will personally never understand the coupons obsessed people or the millionaires who save all of their money all of their lives and are extremely frugal. The reason why I started an online business a couple years ago, it's because I wanted to be free. I wanted to travel whenever I wanted, anywhere in the world, and I wanted to have more freedom than a job would give me. So what I invite you to do is to first come up with a clear vision of the sort of life that you would want to have. What would a day in your ideal life look like? What would you do on a vacation? How much time would you spend working every month, every day? Who would you surround yourself with? What would people think of you? What kind of man would you be? And then what I invite you to do is to reverse engineer to figure out how much money you would need every year and every month to live this kind of lifestyle. And unless you want the private jets, the best hotels, the fanciest vacations in the world, chances are you can reach your goals a lot faster than you think. Now, to truly join the top 1%, the truth is you'll need to build up your social skills to be able to make a friend out of anyone. When I started to improve my social skills, it completely changed my entire life. Like, I can't even put into words just what it did for me. Honestly, the best part about improving your social skills, it is never feeling lonely ever again, because now you can have good, great interactions, satisfying interactions with literally anyone you meet. At some point, I even had some kind of a social anxiety. Yet, if you met me today, you spoke to me, you'd probably assume I'm a born extrovert, when in reality that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm very much an introvert, and I will always be an introvert. Now, some people are gonna tell you, okay, go out in the street, talk to a stranger, ask for their number, but I never did that. And it didn't prevent me from building great social skills. Because the truth is, if you go talk to a random stranger in the street, more often than not, they're gonna wonder what you want, if you need some help, if you're not trying to scam them, to assault them in some way. It's not really the best place to meet people. The best way I've found to improve social skills and to meet other people, it's actually to join a fitness club, to join classes, like let's say a CrossFit gym. There, you'll meet people who want to push themselves. So already they are in a dynamic of progress. And if you go talk to them, you can simply ask them what kind of workout they're doing, if they're done using the equipment. And day after day, slowly but surely, you improve your social skills. Now finally, there's one thing that we need to talk about: romantic relationships. Contrary to what some guys preach on social media, having a one-night stand, it's not necessarily going to make you happy, fulfilled, or make you feel like a higher value man. Because I can tell you from my own experience, having a loving, faithful, caring relationship, it is actually the best thing that can ever happen to you. Because at the end of the day, what is more valuable? That person which is always by your side, or just a single night with a random stranger, somebody that you don't even know, that you don't even connect with? If you want to do it, go ahead, that's fine. But if you've got that supportive person, they love you, they care for you, and right now you've got nothing, you're at rock bottom, cherish that person, treat them well, because in this world, they are a rare diamond. Because let's face it, when you're ambitious, you want to join the top 1%, most people will never believe in you, so you've got to believe in yourself more than anyone else will. But if you're lucky enough to have that diamond, that partner who believes in you, please treat them with the best care you can, because those people, they're even more precious than the goals or all of the money in the world. But the key rule is that if you want to be a top 1% man, you don't want to chase relationships and girls. Instead, you want to focus on bettering yourself as a person, work on your health, work on your fitness, improve your finances, start your business, build a life that you love, and then at some point, the right person will come along. It might sound like a cliche thing to say, but it is true. Because if you live a life which is in alignment with what you truly want, the people that you'll meet and connect with, naturally they will also align with your goals, your values, and that is when you'll meet the best people for you. With that said, I'm watching you and I'm waiting for you on the other side.